everyone, and welcome to Zest Zen with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that would take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, it's an absolute honor to welcome a woman whose path has woven together history, healing, and deep connection to the unseen. Sofia began her professional life as a historian, but a profound personal awakening sparked in 2009 after the passing of her father, and it set her on a journey to rediscover her divinity and true purpose. Guided by intuition, Sofia embraced the BodyTalk modality in 2020, now working mainly with animals to help them release anxiety, trauma, and even ancestral patterns, which I am very interested to hear more about. But her work goes far beyond just technique. It's a fusion of spiritual insight, frequency medicine, and a profound love for all living beings. She was introduced to me by PranaLink, a holistic wellness platform dedicated to empowering individuals on their journey to better health, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I can see exactly why they felt she would be a beautiful fit for this podcast. Whether she's supporting the healing of a beloved pet, exploring new ways to nourish the body, or expanding her connection to consciousness, Sofia embodies the art of living in alignment with the divine. I have a feeling today's conversation will not only just inspire you, it might just shift the way you see both healing and connection. So let's welcome the fabulous Sofia. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh my goodness, sister. I'm receiving that. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are absolutely welcome. And even though that was really beautiful what you said, I still feel like it still doesn't even cover half of what any of us do, but I appreciate you saying that so much. Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
So one of the things that just really stood out to me that definitely I'm intrigued to find out more about is how on earth did focusing on animals come around?
Well, that is from childhood. Animals have talked to me since since I first incarnated. I'll share my two first memories that are like in here. First is so I was born with a dislocated hip, so I was in a body cast for a year and a half, and then when I got out, I didn't crawl, I ran. So yeah.
Okay. Just before you just like really skimmed over that.
I did.
That was like some superhero skill. Then you're just
seriously. That was my divinity. That was my divinity being like, okay, you're ready. Just go. And it never, like, it was just so, like, I can't describe that because, the whole process of crawling to walking to running. No, I just skipped those and just went to running. And I was fine, which is, I mean, that's how powerful we are. I didn't know all of the programming I have, that I'm unwinding now, but like as a pure divine being that I incarnated as, I was like, okay, I'm healed.
Wow. And how old were you, sorry?
I think I got out by the time I was 2.
But also to have like that realization at that age, like, wow, that's incredible.
Well, I didn't have but
I mean, just a memory of like in the body, like obviously I'm sure like not as a 2-year-old you were like, okay, so then I've got these people all around me this whole time and I can do that. But actually,
I mean, it was just awareness.
But when you think about that is probably what a child does. Like they might not have whether we can go back to that, they don't maybe have the language, but the eyes and the understanding. Wow, it's incredible.
Yeah. So I came in fully awake.
Wow.
So I'm meant to do whatever I'm meant to do. My first remembrance of that, the lack of separation that we're taught that we have, is I was walking with my mom and I tripped over an anthill. I cried.
Aww.
Because I displaced the ants. Like little 2-year-old. At 3, the other instance is we had a cabin on a lake in Connecticut, and we're down at the lake, and I walk into a flock of Canadian geese. They surround me, and they let me pet them because they could feel my frequency. They knew I was an innocent, and they knew who I was. Like, I still don't know who I am, but they knew. And so they're reflecting to me, and they're like keeping me from my parents. They're like, no, she's like, ours.
Who are you with right now? This is not who you're supposed to be with.
Right. So like, they're protecting me from my parents. My parents are freaking out because they're Canadian geese, and Canadian geese have been known to be violent at times with humans. No, not me. They're like, no, you don't need to go. You would just stay with us. And I'm like, okay. And I finally toddle back to my parents. They're like, don't you ever do that again. I'm like, but they're my friends. So animals have always been my friends. Like, I've had deeper connections with four-legged, winged ones, and fins than I have with a lot of humans.
Wow. Sorry, just not to interrupt you, but I think that's super important what you've just said as well about particularly the innocence of a child is they haven't had all those stories about the geese, you know? So even for me, a little bit, like, even when you said it, obviously, intuitively, I could pick up that it wasn't, you know, they're not the best. But, like, for me, I've not had that experience. So for me, like, you mentioning that, whereas maybe I would mention another animal. But isn't that the beauty of it is that the child is just love, aren't they? And they don't see that. They just see the animal in front of them. And it's so funny how many times we have these videos of even like a wild horse, but with a newborn baby, it's so soft and so gentle. I think that's really powerful what you've just said.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so they like so I grew up in Connecticut in the 70s and 80s, and there weren't any spiritual people there. There were a lot of religious people, but not spiritual. And I'm like fully connected. I could do future casting. I could do all these things. And my grandpa died when I was 10, and he sat on my bed for 3 days after he died to let me know he was okay.
Oh my gosh. So sorry, just not to take you into that, but in you saying that, was that a feeling or you literally could see your granddad?
I could literally see him.
Oh my gosh.
I could literally see him. And I'm trying to tell my family members this, and they all think I'm kind of crazy.
Wow.
And I had a paternal my dad's mom and my mom's dad both got institutionalized for being too sensitive and having nervous breakdowns. I have that awareness in my beingness, and I'm like, I don't want to be institutionalized and medicated, so I'm going to shut myself down. To be safe. So before I do that, I hear 3 things. First, I'm going to be a doctor. My dad's going to have a relatively healthy life and then have a really tragic death. And one of my partners was going to be older than me. Those are the guidance.
You heard all of this at 10? At 10?
10.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I look around, and I don't want to cut anyone open because, like, I'm not denigrating Western medicine. It's just not a complete picture. In fact, it's just a fraction of a picture. So I don't know. I know I don't want to cut anyone open or give them medications. I don't even know what that means, but I know that. So I'm like, okay, what subject can I handle long enough to get a Ph.D. in? And I love studying people in different time periods.
Wow.
So I ended up getting a Ph.D. in cultural history, and then didn't use it for what I wanted to. I'll just say that I just not honoring the work. Well, I couldn't get a job honoring the work that I was doing, so I had to compromise myself because that's what I thought I had to do at the time. And I did research on Superfund sites.
On what sort?
Big difference. Superfund sites.
Oh, wow.
EPA Superfund sites, Environmental Protection Agency, like who dumped what, where, in what lake, and what are the toxins. I got to do that research, and I'm like, that's not what I signed up for. That's not why I wanted to get a PhD. And so Dad like in 2009, dad at the age of 69 gets pancreatitis. And when he goes to the hospital, he gets a staph infection, gets paralyzed for 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
I'm living in Washington State. They're living in Connecticut. So I'm flying back and forth across the country, which is a big toll on your body.
Yeah.
I was able to be there the day he died, which is amazing. They're the doctors, he's in hospice, and they're like, you have to wear gloves. I'm like, my dad needs touch. He's dying. I knew intuitively I wasn't going to get staph infection. So I took my hand and I just like stroked his arm. I put my hand on his forehead. I was just caressing him just to let him know he's safe and he's loved. And it was just like me being compassionate. Like I was just full on like, Dad, you never let us love you the way your soul needs to love. I'm just going to hold you. I'm going to just being so compassionate. And then mom just was burnt out from being the primary caregiver. So, I mean, not primary caregiver, but like the one holding space for this journey. So we leave and we're driving home and I hear the phone ring and I get to a turnaround. I'm like, that was a hospital, Dad just died. And she's like, what do you mean? And I listened to the voice message and they turned him over to wash him. And when they turned him back, he was gone.
Wow.
I walk into the room, we park and we get back, and I walk to the room and I don't recognize his body because he's not in it. I see a wax figure that kind of looks like my dad, but not like I'm not seeing Dad. I'm just not. And I'm like, where's Dad? And my mom says because I asked the question 3 separate times. I'm like, no, that's your father. I'm like, that is not Dad because his soul isn't there. And I know this. And then all of a sudden I feel, and I look up and I'm like, that was Dad.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know anything. And I just went within and I found Mind Valley, and the founder of Vishen had this beautiful meditation that I listened to every day for 7 years. Then I did the Silva method, and then I just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper because I knew that I was limiting myself with the programs that I've been conditioned with. And I'm still on this quest, like what else is driving me to keeping me from remembering the full extent of my divinity?
Wow.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? It's like I don't like, it's just really funny that you've just mentioned about Vishen as well, because I was literally just in Amsterdam at Mind Valley with Vishen. I just think that's
beautiful.
Yeah, and yeah, he said some really powerful things on the stage, so I can see how that really helped you. And he's a very powerful man that is definitely not, which these are his words, but I could really feel them. He's not creating an organization, he's creating a movement. And I know there's all these buzzwords now about movement and this, and I feel like they almost do that to these words like manifestation and movement, almost to try and like dilute them, so that then someone who is really saying that from the heart and is really meaning it, it's almost like trying to get it so into like the mainstream, if you want to call it, that people go, oh, here we go again, another one talking about movement, another one talking about and it's quite clever really what they do, but it's something that's felt. And I felt every piece of his word. And even if, people listening now, the whole point of the Zest Zen for me is not, it's not, oh, this is true and this is not true, this is this and this is that. It's the fact that we're all different. We all have our different beliefs. We all have our beautiful gifts. We all have our beautiful lives. And for me, it's more than a podcast. And again, people say, oh, people are saying that now. I don't care, because it's something within. And it's whether you believe in angels, you believe in this, you believe in that, or you don't. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what is the love and the heart behind the person? And that's why I don't have a criteria. I don't have questions. I don't have a certain motive. All I have is the celebration of you and what you believe in and what beautiful impact you are creating in the world. And I just feel like, and I'm sure you're the same with your podcast, it's just raising that awareness that, you know what, we're all different. And this is the beauty of it, is that we can all learn from each other. We don't have to take it, we don't have to believe it, but it's just nice to share.
It is.
So I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate how you've shown up and you've really just spoke from your heart and you've shared you.
Thank you.
Regardless of what anyone thinks, because this is the whole thing. That's the whole thing, is we're programmed to say, and even something came to me recently of how I was expressing myself. I was always changing it to so that everybody could access it, everybody could understand it. And then I said, what are you doing? Because actually, no, you need to speak from your heart, your truth. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. If they do like it, they do like it. But it's not, of course we want to be liked, but it's not about that. It's about showing up fully as us, what we believe in, what we are doing for the highest good of all. You know, if you have someone talking about things that, you know, are not really benefiting the world, that's very different. But I feel nothing but love in all that you're expressing. And I think, you know, actually a lot of people do talk about feelings. So I feel a lot. And, you know, so for you to say openly you see something, who am I to judge and who is someone else to judge? And even if they do judge, it doesn't actually matter.
Right.
Because we each have know you and you know your truth. So thank you, Sophia, really for sharing that. And even on a smaller understanding of it, I'd love your take on this. What do we do when we want comfort? We go to animals. Not everyone, but you know, how many times do you see someone just snuggling with animals, having that love with animals? Why? You know,
well, I know for a fact, like in high school, you know, so 10, grandpa dies, family dynamics shift dramatically. And one of the perks is my parents, or my mom specifically, we always had cats. So I got my cat Toby, and Toby became my best friend. And he just held so much space for me in my high school years, like 10 all the way through high school. He just held space for me. And I remember my first semester of college, I came back home. He greeted me at the door. I picked him up. Mom always had big couches. I laid down on the couch. He started purring. We fell asleep together for 3 hours because we were so happy to see each other. And it was like, oh, Toby, oh my gosh, like my best friend. He was my best friend.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, like that's what it can be, because they have this relationship with us that lets us feel the deep vulnerability and the authenticity that we might be scared of expressing with other humans.
Yeah. So to extend on that, because obviously there's like having the comfort from an animal and feeling the love and, you know, maybe like speaking as we do to them, but like what you said, you and whether that's like, because I know you talk about frequencies and things, whether it's like intuitively or however it is. I remember you saying, if it's right, that you like hear animals. So where did I know you talk about ancestral patterns as well, so where did that all come about? Like my mind right now just and I guess, you know, it's just because I'm sure you'll explain it beautifully, but I think because like most of us, and I know like everything is all like a remembrance and an awakening to things anyway, but most of us generally, you know, can feel the mood of an animal or like something, but generally we don't really hear the animal generally. And so to think even ancestral patterns, when lots of people probably even thinking like right now, I don't even know what that means for me, let alone an animal. I would just love your take on that.
So a long time ago, I came across Bruce Lipton, who is a biologist and an amazing soul. Back in the 80s, he wrote The Biology of Belief, that is not taught in schools, which is crazy. It's all about how 7 generations back, 7 generations forward, probably even longer than that, we carry the epigenetic patterns of our ancestors and bring them forward. And so, and animals probably longer because they don't live as long.
That's really interesting what you've just said. So longer because they don't live as long.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So like, for example,
I'm just thinking that, is that because then they will reincarnate more times? Is that, or?
Well, we all reincarnate, right? Like,
yeah, no, I'm just trying to think, like, I'm probably just thinking way too deep into it. Anyway, I'm listening.
So what happens, so in the BodyTalk system, it's a combination of chiropractic, kinesiology, traditional Chinese medicine, Reiki, Ayurvedic, and a little Aboriginal Australian. And it's all in this chart that I have memorized. And each body part carries frequency. So for example, liver carries anger, protection, storage, is connected to the fascia. Chakras have energies. Like, I worked with a sheep last year that had was lame because her right elbow was carrying heartbreak because her brother just died.
In a sheep?
In a sheep.
Wow.
Oh, she came into this is trippy. Like, so what happens, like, I'm intuitive. I take classes in BodyTalk in 2020. The second class I take teaches me about quantum entanglement, essentially. Because I'm working with a dog in Ireland. We're on Zoom. There's 12 windows. She didn't shrink hers. The instructor didn't shrink hers so I could see the picture of the dog. The guy who had the dog I was working on couldn't get on Zoom, so he called. So she puts her phone up like this, but like, imagine this being 12 squares. So I'm seeing this little thing bouncing up and down. This is a puppy. And she says, do BodyTalk Axis, which is a tapping modality. I do it, and the puppy goes from bounce, 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 bounce to sound asleep before I'm done.
Oh, wow.
And this is a hyper puppy. And I'm like, okay, I gotta study more because I don't really get this. And so now, like, my comfort zone is like, I like to see a picture and I like to know what's going on with the animal. In reality, the animal's going to tell me what's going on, and I don't need a picture, but that's my comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm just thinking, sorry, I want you to continue, but I just think there's a really important point in what you just said. That's the mind, isn't it? Because like what you said, you just intuitively knew what to do, and you're like, but I don't understand how that happened. But that's the connection, and that's the reprogramming of, like, read the manual, put it together, do this, do that, and that's the you know, the going along, and this is how we're supposed to do it. So I actually think there's a beauty in that, because that is being fearless and courageous, because you had to be like, okay, and that's the thing, we don't always know, and that's the scary part, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And I mean, when this sheep came in, I asked for a picture. She didn't wait for me to get the picture. She just went, and I felt this frequency in my heart, and I'm like,
wow,
sheep. Okay. So then she started, I don't know, I have any other way. She telepathed me. And she told me what was going on, and we got to her elbow, and she was like, you know, my brother just died, and that's why I'm lame, because I have heartbreak here. And I was like, okay, let's deactivate that for you, because the vet wanted to put her down because she's lame. Right? Because that's what they do. And so we deactivated that for her, and then we finished a couple other things, and she gave me, like, do you know the energy of Kuan Yin?
Yeah.
That's the level.
Compassion, isn't it?
It's the biggest, like, it's grace, it's compassion, it's just pure unconditional love. And that came into my heart when I was done, and I just cried. It was like, oh my gosh, like, that's the energy of sheep. Like, we don't think of sheep as like sentient beings, right? But they are, and they carry this profound, gentle, amazing, divine energy within them. And
Wow.
Like the fact that I get to feel like I get to do this. I really get to do this. This is so amazing, because the animals will come in. Sometimes their personalities will come in, but most of the time they literally channel. I'm in channel mode, and I write stuff down. I can't read it usually very well, because I do my best to write neatly, but I'm also channeling, so I'm
like
not
the
really
frequency of it, isn't it? Yeah.
right. So I record it as well, so the humans can listen to it. But it's magical, like what comes through. And the more I learn, like if I take a class on quantum mechanics or anatomy and physiology, it will come in the session, even though I'm not really sure what I'm doing. It doesn't matter, because I've accessed that information. So it's like every time I take a class, it's like, okay, we're going to act. So I took a class in meridians, Chinese meridians. That comes in sessions.
Wow.
Even though I'm not an expert in it, it doesn't matter, because I have the awareness of it now, so it does.
Wow.
And so the animals know it. And it's funny, because one of the other things I do is grid work. And so I've been house sitting around Oregon to activate and raise the frequency of the state. And so I'm house sitting with all of these different animals, and they don't want me to do sessions when I'm living with them. They're just like, we just want your frequency. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. So yeah, it's really true. And now, because as the more intuitive I've gotten, now trees and boulders are talking to me, grass is talking to me. It's because we're all connected, right?
Yeah.
We're all connected.
I actually, just with you saying about that, it's funny that we're having this session today, and then I saw that like just before the session, but there was a reel, and it was a lady, and basically she had the like tree next to her, and she was saying like, come closer, tree, come closer. And you see it moving. And then obviously you have someone go, I'm going to try that. And then you see another person who obviously is a little bit like, I don't want to say that that's what they were trying to do, but be like, kind of like, oh, let's see if this is true. You know, like, but yeah, it did.
They are so great. Like when I go on my walks, I try to touch each tree and just thank them for the oxygen they bring, for the shade they bring, for all of the ways they show up in the world. And when I was in Ashland, Oregon, the trees know my frequency, and they were like, well, here's how you can find our heart. And I was like, I could put my hand on your heart? Are you kidding me? And they're like, yeah, we want you to. And so because they taught me in Ashland, the ones in Bend, Oregon, where I am now, they're like, she knows where our hearts are. Why don't you ask? And I'm like, really? I mean, this is so amazing, because like I could just feel them, and the gratitude because of that acknowledgement. Like everything, every being, regardless of what it is, loves to be acknowledged, loves to have a little gratitude thrown their way. Because like, I mean, we can't breathe without trees. We can't eat without bees. I mean, that's just pure basic science. So whenever I see a bee, I thank it. I sing to bees because they're magical. Orcas are probably my spirit animal right now. They change, but orcas have a really powerful family-oriented energy. And so all of life is here for us.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that's super powerful, like what you just said about, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but it's just coming to my brain. So I just feel like it's maybe something to say. But just thinking about the sheep and the heartbreak it was going through, like it just makes me think, how does that then affect, like not to think too much about it, because like obviously it's a living being, but what happens when they have these thoughts, feelings, and emotions stored in them, and then they are put into the food chain? I don't know. It's just.
Well, think about that. Like I love salmon that's caught by Native Americans, because the frequency that they carry to honor the animal, the fish, is different than a Western fisherman. And I'm not denigrating anything. It's just a different frequency. And so really, like intuitively, like when you have your food, really express profound gratitude to bless it and to offer presence, and really like be mindful. as much as you can, be mindful. I'm going to the farmer's market today to get my food because I love connecting with the farmers. It's really important to my soul that I know who's growing food for me.
Yeah.
And it should be everybody's. I'm not judging anyone. If you have a farmer's market, that's amazing. I know in the United States, there's a lot of food deserts. So it's harder to get fresh organic food from a farmer.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm grateful that I live in Oregon, where it's a really abundant state in terms of produce. And so I get to do that. And really connecting, like, I don't really eat flesh very much because my frequency's shifting right now. But when I do, I make sure it's like locally raised, maybe not grass fed because it's high desert here, but like pasture raised and like healthy fed, and not corn or soy or anything like that, because I know that that's going to come into me.
I think just like with anything though, it's all intention, isn't it? Mindfulness and being intentional, and just back to the gratitude, just being grateful for all that's in our lives. So yeah, thank you. I guess that ties into maybe your passion for nutrition and things like that then as well. That's maybe where it all comes from. But I feel like it's all like this anyway, isn't it? It all kind of.
Oh, it is. It's like, if it comes through, and I work with humans too. It's just that, like, if I work with a human, it's usually with the animal, because the animal picks up on the energy of the human. So the entanglement thing needs to work on both. But like the superfoods just came in naturally because, like, we all have Roundup in us. Let's face it, glyphosate. And the company I work with has a supplement that has been clinically proven to eliminate it.
Wow.
That's important to me. I don't want to be sick. I love making sourdough. I want to make sure that even though I'm organic and I like get ancient grains, I'm sure I'm still taking glyphosate in, because we all are. We all have heavy metals from all the air poisoning that we've had since the 1970s. Like, we have been, and I don't want to go too deep with this, but we have been intentionally poisoned for decades in our food supply, and the water and the air and the soil. Yeah.
I think it shows in how much now all these intolerances and sensitivity, and I know that I'm particularly someone that now has that. Did I when I was younger? I don't know, but I know that I have it very strongly now. And it's just about listening to your body and honoring it. But then there is a part of me that thinks, but like everybody, like, well, not everybody, but there's just more and more, and and then it's just take a pill and you'll feel better. And it's like, I don't want to put a pill in my body. Right. I want to actually listen to my body. My body is making me look like I'm nearly 3 months pregnant now. Why putting something in my mouth has now just made everything go like a puffer fish? I don't know. So I think it's just really being conscious and present, and really listening to yourself. And like what you said, sometimes you might not know why you need to walk down that street, or do that thing to your body, or maybe feel like you need to put your hand on another, whatever it is. But this is how these beautiful discoveries come out. And whether this is way ahead of for some people right now, or some people understand it doesn't matter, because the beautiful thing about podcasts and sharing our voice online is, at some point, whether now or in the future, it will just land with someone. And you never know, there might be someone now who has an animal and they're not sure, but they just feel something. And I do believe people are directed to things because it's much greater than what we can comprehend and think with our mind. And I think that's just really beautiful. And so with that in mind, and say the people listening, it's always good for them to take away something. So for someone listening right now, just like intuitively, what would you suggest to them?
Well, if you're looking for a way to start connecting more with your intuition, the gateway is put your hands on your heart and ask your body to show you what a yes feels like. And then wait. Then ask your body, after you feel something, ask it what a no feels like, and wait. And you can, and then of course, thank your body for responding. And then you can use that for food choices, for communicating with your animal, for how you show up in the world. Like if you already have, like, say you walk into a room, right? And you can feel it. Because we can all sense that. We kind of dismiss it. Oh, that's just a thing. But no, that's part of our intuition.
Yeah.
And you're like, should I really go? And you get a no, leave.
Wow. And just like, just to add to that, just based on your own experience, I'm definitely going to try that, by the way, afterwards. Would you say there is a big difference in the yes and the no? Like, would you really
the more you practice it, the more you practice it. I mean, like if I'm standing, I think I could do this. All right. So, okay, I'm going to show. So what does the yes feel like?
Oh,
what does the no feel like? So, yeah, it's pretty intense.
Also, it's not like an inner feeling. It's like a real body.
Well, sometimes, I mean, if I'm standing, that's what I get. If I'm sitting, it's my heart or my gut.
Okay. Yeah.
But, you know, when I'm standing, body's like, oh, there's much more latitude. And I have to like, okay, is there like something I'm going to break? If like, I have to look around before I'm standing up because like it's,
I was trying to think whether it was the yes or the no. I feel like the yes was forward, was it? And the no was backwards when you stood up. Because I was just thinking, imagine it was the other way around. You're like, should I go in this room? Okay. And then everyone's like, is she coming in or is she not? I don't know.
Well, I mean, and it changes with each body. So, I mean, this is the way my body shows up. Yeah. But I'm at the point where like, I'll get an intuitive nudge to be like, okay, you're gonna, like, before I started the podcast with you, my body's like, you know, cinnamon raisin sourdough slice before you start. I'm like, really? Because I'm not really hungry, but yes, have it anyways, because you're going to need a little carbs to like wake you up a little bit, which is interesting. So I just listen.
And that's very like that's not just like, oh, have a little bit of something to eat. That's like very
specific. Like, and like 2 weeks ago, my body's like, okay, we're done with bananas. I'm like, wait, what? I love bananas. Yeah, you're done with bananas for now. I'm like, okay. So I go to the grocery store and I'm like, I see the bananas. I'm not even drawn to them. I'm like, it's just so fascinating because like the more it helps with intuitive eating. It helps with like the more you develop your intuition. And this really is the beginning of how to connect back with your body. Because let's face it, in Western society, we're not really well connected with our bodies.
I think just because I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I think just something really powerful you've said, and just thinking back to my own experience, I would love your take on it, is that
Sure.
I love the way you said that and then you honor it. Whereas like something that I noticed most of my life was what I shouldn't have, dairy at the time. It was, I don't want to call it a parasite or something, but it was almost like, give me the dairy now. Like, it was like, I knew I should not have it, but it's almost like I would self-sabotage and like be like, well, I'm going to eat it anyway, as if like, and it was, and now thinking back, actually it was really obsessive. Like it wouldn't just be like have like then a massive thing of like lasagna. It would then be like, and I'm also gonna like have a pint of milk, which I just wouldn't do. It was so out of control. And then I would be like snappy at people. I would be like, I wasn't in my own mind. I wanted to sleep, but then I was like fighting it, and it was like, what is going on?
Oh, it's a thing. I mean, I had 2 days ago, I used my phone for alarm, but I put it on silent, and I had to get up really like, I don't know, 5:30 or 6. And I noticed there's an aspect of me that like, you know, I turn the alarm off, I turn the airplane mode off, and I start scrolling. I'm like, who's this? Who is this? And I heard, leave me alone. I'm like, okay, this is really interesting, because I normally like, I wake up and I'll like just process and have a nice slow morning. And then I'll journal before I look at my phone, because that's the big thing, because I love connecting and feeling like I ask 2 questions. What will create a fantastic day? And I get 1-word responses. I like multiple 1-word responses. And the other is, what does my soul want to tell me today? So that's just like a thing I do. And this aspect of me was like, we are not doing that today. We're just going to scroll. And I'm like, hi. And it's like, you're not looking, like, I'm just hearing this, don't look at me, don't look at me. And I'm like, I'm just going to start breathing slowly. And I was like, don't you dare. I'm like, okay, you are just like making it too obvious for me not to pay attention to you. So you might want to like change your strategy, because like I know this pattern. This pattern is like, I'm on full on distraction. And I'm like, okay, is this an anxiety? Like, I'm not even asking what it is, but I'm like, okay, where are you? And I'm just going to put my hands on you and start deep breathing. And there was like this internal battle going on. And I'm like, okay, I'm here. Like, I'm just present with you. And after about 10 minutes, and I've been doing this for a long time, and it was like it was like a deep thing that I couldn't see. It was finally like, fine. And then I was able to breathe deeply and be present. But I mean, it was like a really, you know, because I've been doing this for a long time, I just keep getting deeper layers of the thing. This was like a particularly deep hidden aspect of me that just did not want to be seen. I'm like, oh no, honey, I'm not going to force you out, of course, because I'm not going to do that. But like, I am going to be present with you. And it was like, I don't want you to be present with me. Like, yeah, that's okay. You don't have to like it. I'm still going to do it. And so when I did that, it was like this shift in my brain, and the neural pathways started rewiring, because it was like, oh, that doesn't work anymore. She's just going to pay attention regardless. And whatever that aspect, could have been a parasite, it could have just been a thought form, I don't even know what it was, but like, those parasites really, they're powerful.
Yeah, like and that's a powerful thing I heard from what you said was like, I love where you're like, no more bananas, and you're just like, okay, like you just truly trust it. And I think that really shows the power of your mind, because there's, whether you want to call it hearing or knowing, and then there's not only you honoring that, there's then things I feel come along, and you get invited to a party, and then you don't want to be the one that's being extra. You don't want to be the one that's, you know. And I feel like, these tests come in to be like, are you really going to honor you? And they're not always the easiest choices, but
no.
Actually, it's that whole, you know, it seems like things have been set up a certain way to kind of like, I don't know, encourage this type of behavior and things like that. And yeah, so sometimes to go against the grain, it's not always the easiest choice, but
it gets easier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it took me like 30 years to like really be like, enough's enough with dairy. And then it took me then probably another 5 years to then realize, oh, it's gluten as well. Really? Do you want to just take everything away from me? And it's still a little battle now. And
that's so, like, I did this whole process, like, it took me 10 years to go like gluten, dairy, sugar, coffee, beef, chicken, finally fish free. And I was, when the fish came through, I was like, I can't eat anything. There's zero. I had a massive, I felt the tantrum. I mean, it was a full-on 5-year-old tantrum.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I totally, because it is this battle of the ego. Like now my body's like, well, you need to eat twice a day. I used to eat 3 times a day. Now I'm like twice a day. I'm like, how about I just see what my body wants?
Yeah.
And there's this internal battle, because there's this perception that I need food, right? That's a program.
I hear you. I hear you. Like, I did like I'm not a Muslim or anything, but I did Ramadan this year. I just felt like doing it and
Cool.
literally going the whole day and then having one meal really consciously, really presently after sunset. And do you know what? I had even more energy than you'd
Yeah.
think like, I had all these like perceptions that, oh, I wouldn't be out, I was going to be tired and I'll
Right.
lose all my figure and I'm going to get like weak and
Hmm.
I'm just going to, and I had all of this. I was
Yeah.
energetic, my skin was clearer, I was like, my business was like
Yeah.
building and
Yeah.
exploding like in the most beautiful way. And I was
Mhm.
like, it just shows, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
obviously we're not encouraging anybody to do
No,
this.
but
It's all
like,
about listening to yourself. But
mhm,
yeah, for me, I realized that actually the more I consume, and that's not just food, the
mhm.
more I'm less connected, and
Yeah.
I do just almost like, say my brain's overloaded, my belly's overloaded. I just want to sit down. Whereas
Yeah.
I notice it's almost like a quick zip or whatever, and I'm like, right, boom, 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 in
Yeah.
the most beautiful, impactful way. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely. The more I think about it, I definitely think, and there's also as females, there's times in the month that's very different as well, which I think
Yeah.
is really important. That again is not spoke about as much, the cycles, but generally it's just again like listening to your body
Yeah.
and just honoring it. And yeah, there is this almost like societal thing of like, yeah, now I do kind of have a little anxiety for like going for dinners and stuff because I'm always like, okay, is there going to be anything on the menu I can eat and all this, and and then everyone makes it about them. It's got nothing to do with you. You get to eat what you want because you choose to. But then all of a sudden everybody is now thinking that it involves them, I'm
Right.
like, it's got nothing to do with you. I'm the one that's eating this
Right.
meal.
Right. That's so fascinating because I remember when I was with my former partner, he loved beer. I'm like, okay, have beer. I haven't been able to drink since 2000. My body has a very visceral reaction to alcohol. So I'm happy about it. Like I don't care. It's like water's my go-to anyways. Um, but he'd feel self-conscious because I wasn't
Yes.
drinking and he'd like try to force beer. I'm like, Steven, you're gonna see what happens. The response is gonna be the same every single time. So why are you trying to
Mm,
force this on me? Because I don't want it. I'm not judging you. You can have a beer. I don't care. You do
mm.
you. I'm just doing what my
Yeah.
body's asking for. And it was like such a disconnect because he was so used to how people perceived him.
Mm. And the thing that's the most worrying is in, say, picking the water or the whatever choice,
Mhm.
it's like it really highlights a judgment and a criticism within the person. And it's like,
Yeah.
but never, that never came from us. But it's like again like a
Mhm.
societal programming of, you
Right.
know, because of the calories or because of the
Or the
effect, or
whatever.
they know.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden like, oh, she's having that, now I feel like a bad person. But I'm not going to show that I feel like I'm, if anything, I'm just going to verbally really be like, well, I drink what I want when I want. I don't worry about these
Right.
things. I have anything at any time. And it's like, but you can see it's like this like
Yeah.
processing. And before I
Yeah.
used to think it was at me, but now I realize it's them internally maybe
Hmm.
having a battle with, because someone's not going to the norm of like, oh, well,
Right.
everybody just does this because that's what we do here. And
And
it's a
so
really odd thing. Yeah, it's very odd.
when you show up as your authentic self, it freaks people out because you're choosing yourself rather than the programs.
Mm.
And so I've actually said to some of my friends, I'm like, if you want to spend time with me, let's go outside. Because like that's a help. Like you're gonna talk less, which is great. and and you're going to be more present. Like you're going to watch me like talk to trees and talk and touch them. And I'm not trying to impress you. That's not my goal. Like this is how I show up in the world. And you can choose to watch that, and like maybe that will open you up more, or you can choose to not do it. I don't really care. This is what I'm being guided to do. And so how we show up in the world has ripple effects.
Yeah.
Maybe not immediately, but it's planting seeds. And I'm not going to tell anyone to do anything, but I'm also not going to not show up the way I want to show up.
Yeah.
And that's
and that's the
takes
thing.
practice.
That's almost like the inside joke, isn't it? Of like, it's like finding the true version of you, but you have to literally then feel like there's something wrong with you when there was never anything wrong with you.
Right.
Yeah, it's that odd time that we're in, but I think it's also beautiful that, you know, people are honoring who they are, regardless of like whether someone else believes in that or not. You know, like, yeah, why do we always have to go for a meal? Why do we always have to, you know, it be something that we have to buy into? Why can't we just go for a hike or a walk, or like what you say, something you enjoy doing? But yeah, it's almost like, oh, what, we're going to go and do that? And it's like, but you don't know the beauty in that. And I think that I love that you are just really, even on that level, just honoring you and what you love. And before, like, I used to find that like things slipping through my fingers of like, oh, well, now I'm feeling like I'm getting less friends or less this or less that because I don't want to eat that food, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. Whereas like now I see it as like a really sharp navigation tool, because actually, you know, the moment we then do pander to something, we kind of are just delaying it, because it's kind of then just saying like, I'm putting me second, and it's not saying we do that in everything. Of course there's situations, you know, we show up, and you know, like, I'm more than happy to sit there and just enjoy the company, dance, and you know, I don't have to follow the whole programming of you have to be drunk first, or you have to do this first. And yeah, I just think these types of conversations are just like really important, I think. So yeah, thank you for really sharing that. And I think also you said a really, really powerful thing about your is he your ex now? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That it isn't again about spiritual and non-spiritual and alcohol and non-alcohol, because you were accepting him exactly who he was, but it's him that has to accept himself at it. Like, if you know, you meet this incredible person and he wants beer, enjoy a beer. I had a recent situation recently when I went on a date with someone, and then he was like, should we go get a beer? And I was like, oh, I don't really want a beer. And it was like such a like, oh no, well, I won't have one. I'm like, no, go have one. I'm more than happy to sit with you while you enjoy your beer. I just don't want one. But it's not actually about us. It's about how they feel, which is really sad. Because then, you know, two people who you know, could eventually, like, essentially come together and really grow beautifully. But we can't change that person, and we shouldn't change that person. But they have to just be like, I'm cool still with this situation, but they're not. Which is a real shame. So,
I know, it's really sad.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's all within. Like, if we trigger someone, it's because they have the trigger, right? We're not the ones that cause the initial wound. We're just giving them the opportunity to see it in the moment.
Absolutely. Wow, it's so funny. We start with this and then it goes completely. But I always believe when we don't have an agenda or an intent, well, no, we have an intention, but we don't control the narrative or the situation of how the beautiful discussion will be, or the episode. I believe that there's always something for somebody listening. So I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And I'm going to put all your information in the description. And yeah, just keep showing up as you keep shining. And Yeah, you're amazing, and thank you for being so real, so raw, and just so honest. And even if that's the one take people get from this, regardless of everything else shared, it's, who are you? And that's what I believe you just showed through this whole episode. You just
Oh, thank
honored
you.
you in your journey and who you are. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, love. I'm so grateful to be on this show, and I'm so grateful for the light you share in the world and all the work you do and who you are. And it's just such a joy to know that you're on the planet with me.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.